What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today I want to keep looking at some of the tape from last year. Today we're going to be looking at the wide receiver position, and Michael Pittman Jr. just got a bag from the Colts. Glad he got paid. Glad he got paid what he did. See some of these guys getting 30 million. Justin Jefferson obviously at $35 million a year. So some big money. Michael Pittman Jr. getting his contract. And there are some people going into last year, especially talking about there's no way he's going to be worth the money that he's going to want, which is why the Colts aren't paying him. They're going to let somebody else take care of it. At the end of the day, he comes out, has the best season of his career so far, shows that he is a number one wide receiver, solidified his spot as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and ends up getting paid like one of the best in the NFL. When you look at what he was able to do last year and the things that led to him, he was just really just being himself, but the things that cemented the fact that Michael Pittman Jr. was going to be that guy. You start in week one where he has a 39-yard touchdown, right? It's a screen pass. I believe it was like second in 29 or something crazy, right? Second in a mile. A couple of mistakes by the Colts, and they got backed up. And then all of a sudden, screen pass, boom, 39-yard touchdown to Michael Pittman Jr. out of absolutely nowhere, making something out of nothing, and being able to show his explosive ability, which he doesn't get credit for, right? People talk about him being a pretty good route runner. People talk about him being able to go up and win the jump balls, but people don't talk about his explosive ability. And he showed it there in week one on that 39-yard touchdown. He had more examples of that through the year, more examples that we'll talk about through this video, right? You move on to week three. The second possession of overtime, and this is where the jump ball thing, right? We've seen Michael Pittman Jr. go up and win jump balls for years. And on this 34-yard play, this was massive in the game. Now, this drive ended in a turnover on downs, but at the moment, it seemed like this drive was going to be the difference maker. Now, the Colts go on to win that game in overtime against the Ravens, and the Ravens, right after the Colts turned the ball over on downs, the Ravens, boom, turned the ball over on downs, which was the controversial play, the non-penalty. EJ Speed probably should have been called for defensive pass interference, but it doesn't get called. The Colts get the ball, go down, kick the field goal, and win the game. But Michael Pittman Jr., again, showcasing what he's able to do, something we know he's able to do, go up, win those jump balls, right? Helmet pops off and everything, in between two guys, gets hit hard, still hangs on to the ball and tries to help the Colts, right? If he doesn't catch that, the Colts end up punting the ball. Who knows how the drive goes at that point for the Ravens and what happens in the game. Maybe that game ends up in a tie, if Michael Pittman Jr. doesn't have that play to get the field position to where it was. So, and just continuing to, he moves the chains. He can do the deep ball stuff. He's not, Alec Pearson. He's not doing or being asked to do what Alec Pierce is being asked to do. But when you talk about making big plays, it's what Michael Pittman Jr. does, right? An example of that was in week 6 against the Jaguars, where, of course, Colts end up getting stomped like they always do in Jacksonville for some reason. But he had a 40-yard catch. It was the first drive in the fourth quarter when the game was still somewhat in hand. There was still a chance, hey, maybe we could make something happen and come back. And Michael Pittman Jr. had a 40-yard catch, so he tried to impact the game. He ran a great route, kept separation down the field, and was able to get a big play for the Colts. And again, they end up going on to lose that game. It didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but showcasing his versatility here. He can get past the defense by running good routes, by being able to run away from people. And being able to run away from people is what you saw in the Browns game the very next week on the 75-yard touchdown, where it was a great route, which is something he needs to get more credit for his route running. When we talk about some of the best route runners in the NFL, Michael Pittman Jr. continues to get better. And I think what we're going to see this year is him continue to take that next step and to be in the upper echelon of great route runners in the NFL, right? So great route here. Also great catching traffic while he's on the run. It's not just a, jump ball catching traffic. This is catching traffic while he's on the run, breaking free from a couple guys, just kind of bumping off and then running away from people, the effort to be able to break free and then run away. And obviously gets the penalty for celebrating on the way in with the deuce as he's running in, but nonetheless, a great play by Michael Pittman, one of the signature plays by Michael Pittman throughout the season. Right. And then the last play here that I want to look at goes into week 15 against the Steelers before the play happened where he ends up, getting injured. But as we look at it, it was the second drive of the second quarter for the Colts. And he does a great job of keeping himself available for Gardner Minshew here, right? Gardner, trying to buy time. He's on the run, trying to get away from the rushers. And as he's running away, you just see Michael Pittman Jr. staying available, going to the side of the field where Gardner is and finding an open space, right? He tries to stay open. He sees that it's not there. He looks upfield real quick and boom, he darts to where the open field is. Gardner hits him and it turns into a big play at that point. Now, of course, the Colts end up stomping the Steelers 30-13 in week 15. So, that catch helped in that regard. Michael Pittman Jr. is always there, right? And being a guy that's a 100 catch wide receiver, he's a 100 catch wide receiver because he's able to get that separation, run great routes, get separation. He's able to get the catches in traffic. He keeps himself available for the quarterback, and things that he's able to do are things that a wide receiver one needs to do. So having Pitt is great. We also have AD Mitchell coming in from Texas, going to be a good complementary piece to that. And then Josh Downs in the slot. And we're going to be talking about our guy, Josh Downs, in here in a couple days. Tomorrow, we're going to continue this conversation with Michael Pittman Jr. and talk about, the stats for Michael Pittman Jr., what we can project for him in this offense going into year two in the Shane Steichen system. Looking back now at what he was able to do last year, had a great season again, 100 catches, over 1,000 yards, best year of his career so far in 2023. Tomorrow, we look forward to what he's going to do in 2024. And then Josh Downs is the next guy we're going to talk about. I want to run through the wide receiver group. And then at that point, we'll figure out where we go from there in terms of film study. But if you have any suggestions on guys that you want to see about, film study over, who should we talk about? You let me know down in the comments section. We're going to keep talking about this as we wait for training camp to come up. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified when any of these videos do come out. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.